online, and we are all together on this moment. I just remember today the picture of 2 years ago making the moderation of the second moment of the event, and I hope next year we can be all together on this moment, but in networking and physically all together. Today we're going to have 2 moments. The first moment we will have 5 presentations from members from IPBN, and the second moment we will have some questions if people want to share ideas, everything that could be interesting between Portugal experience, Ireland experience, and maybe we can take this event for another moment and things will happen. So thank you very much. I hope you enjoy, and it's going to be a really great moment for sharing. So there you go, Arnold, take it.
Okay, thank you very much, Susan. So we'll start with Pedro Barata from A-Green. Pedro, you have some slides to share, I think.
Yeah, I have to share. So
You
can I share it?
You should be able to share them.
Let's see if we can. So do you see it?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. So I will promise Arnold that I will be short. So let's try to do this. So let me start to explain what is Agreen. So those who doesn't understand and doesn't know the company. Agreen is an engineering company that provides technical support to developers and to asset managers. For instance, we work in project management. That means that we start from designing of the building until the end of the construction, and we work in all phases. And then after that, we also work in facility management, keeping the operating of the building. So we are a full cycle building management. And so we work on buildings. And of course, buildings are fundamental for our development. And this slide is not going, okay. But they cost a lot. 35% of the energy costs come from buildings. This is according to this report for the Global Alliance for Building and Construction. And also 38% of the CO2 emissions came from buildings, from the construction and the operation. So Agreen decided that we are working on a full cycle building management. We work with buildings. So we need to do something. We decided to sign the letter of intentions for sustainable management for the BCASD and try to achieve the sustainable development goals they have. And if you go through all these goals, we will find that buildings are fundamental for each and every one of them. So doing our part, we can be also making sure that the environment will be protected. So we start by analyzing the sustainable construction. And we can go through this concepts of the sustainable construction, and you know that it's fundamental to minimize resource consumption, maximize resource reuse, use renewable or recycled resources, protect the natural environment, create a healthy, non-toxic environment, and of course pursue quality in creating the building environment. But when I was putting together this presentation, what's most important for me is that my source is Charles Kubert, and he wrote this in 1994, and it seems that we still don't get this slide. So it's important to be aware that when we are doing something in construction, we have to take these factors in account. So in Agreen, what can we do? We are a company that are involved in all phases of the construction, and we have to be aware of what actions can we do to prevent, to help the environment. When we are in the project management phase, we are starting working with the developers on a very early stage. If we are in that phase, we can put a lot of different ideas on the buildings to be very sustainable. So we set a target to in our project management phase, on the first phase, to achieve zero emission buildings. That means you can compensate the cost of the construction and the cost of the operation by implementing different equipments to help pay back the cost, the environment cost of the buildings. But we have to be very realistic about it. There is the intention of doing this, and we can do it, but there is also financial issues, and that must be very take care, because when we are presenting a solution to a developer, they have financial guidelines that need to achieve, and we have to be aware that sometimes we cannot do anything, everything, but we can do a lot of things. And this is one example of what we recently do. This is an installation of PV panels. This is a new installation. This is another example. This is a system to collect water from rainwater and provide water for the gardens and also for the fire extinguisher systems. It's very efficient. It works properly. This is another example of something that we can do on the project management phase and also on the renewable phase. We can study the light systems and provide solutions to optimize the light systems with low energy consumption systems. But very often we are just hired for part of this process. We're not hired for all the process. When we are on the construction phase and we are hired just to supervise the construction work, there is also a lot of things that we can do. First of all, we have to do the things right. When we are constructing a building, even if it's not a sustainable environment building, it's not as efficient as it should be. One thing is for sure: if you don't do it right, they will cost more because you need to repair it immediately. So making sure that everything is built correctly is, for us, one of the most important measures that you can do for preventing sustainability and promoting the quality of the environment. This is very simple. It seems very simple, but in Portugal, everybody knows that it's not like that. We need to be aware of what is happening on the construction and to make things right. But even when we are on the construction phase, and we are also responsible for the project or for the design of the building, there is also a lot of things that we can do. We can present the owner and the developer different solutions, different equipments that are more efficient, less consuming. There can be small things and bigger things, but we can do this and we can present them. There is also a very important problem on construction. Everybody that knows the construction knows that the construction site is a very messy place. It's very difficult. I'm really fond of this picture of the room because this is an example of a construction site. It's the same before and after. We need to take care of the construction site. We need to make sure that the waste that we are producing are correctly dumped, are separated, and we have to be assured that the water that we are using on the construction is not contaminated rivers or the domestic sewer system. So managing the construction site is, of course, very important. And once again, is a simple thing to do. It's not, because we are in a difficult environment, but if you are working in the construction, this can help a lot of the environment, not in the long run, but immediately. So I will also work in facility management. And as we've seen,
sorry,
yeah?
1 minute only, okay?
Okay, it's very easy. As you've seen on the first slide, buildings are responsible for a lot of energy consumption, and 30% of this energy consumption occur during the operation. So we can do a lot also to reduce this cost. One of the things that I will provide is air quality analysis, and of course this can allow us to measure the air quality and to act on immediately on ventilation systems and the HVAC units, so they can be more efficient and less cost. We are responsible for managing the waste of all the buildings that we are on operation and make sure they are done correctly and very fast. We also are normally presenting solutions to the owners to reduce their costs, their energy costs, and to be more efficient. Even though when we are operating a building, we can present different solutions, different equipments, even though the building is in operation and without stopping, to add solutions that are renewable and can provide more energy efficiency. To the other things, to end, another thing that we think is fundamental for the buildings is to keep the compliance of the preventive maintenance plan. The buildings are efficient as the equipments that if they are working correctly. If you have a ventilation system that doesn't work, people intend to open windows and the whole building will stop balance, the balance from the heat and the cold. So it's very important to keep everything running correctly, do it right. And for that, we have, for instance, building management systems that are helping us, that allow us to measure the, this is an example of a system that we are using now that allows to measure the energy and the costs that we are taking with the energy amounts. And of course, see if the equipments are working correctly and act immediately if something happens. So I was as fast as I can. Thank you very much. This is something that iGreen do on a daily basis. So I hope everybody would like it. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Pedro.
Pedro, if you could
Yeah,
stop sharing.
Yeah,
okay. Oh, all right. So wait a minute. Okay. So now we have Jean Esteves from Concept Algarve. Jean, I have your video, but maybe you go first, and then we'll see if we play the video. We're very conscious of the time, and I can always share the video afterwards if that's okay with you, Jean.
Yeah, it's okay, no problem. I will be quick anyway. I'm sorry, I don't have anything really prepared for the presentation because I had to come to Lisbon and I wasn't thinking about this. But anyway, I really wanted to show and to talk a little bit about what we are preparing and the brand that we are launching now with a sustainability focus. As some of you know, I have a workshop in the car business in Algarve, and one of the things that I was thinking about was that I couldn't. There was a business opportunity, and there was something that was missing to do something more green, with more sustainability. The thing was that I wanted to go to people's house to wash their cars because I was feeling that there was a lack of service, of a good service for this. But of course, it was impossible to go and take a big tank of water to wash the car in their house, in their houses, in the customer's house, or I needed to ask the customer to plug in something to use their water and their electricity and all that. And so with this, we started a new concept here in Algarve that I think there's a big opportunity to expand, to grow in the next months or years, which is an eco-mobile car wash, which is, the brand is Use Steam. Our website is usesteam.com, and what we do is that we use a steam machine, a very powerful steam machine, to wash the car inside and outside. And of course, this has some benefits because it uses 95% less water than a normal car wash, and sanitize inside. So with all this COVID environment and all these things, we thought like, okay, let's start this business with a van where we have a powerful steam machine, and we go to people's house using only steam to wash the car. So the water is much less, and we don't use chemicals, so we can use it outside with no problem. There's no need for special facilities for the dirty waters and all that. And the dry steam is very good to wash the car. Of course, we need to have some careful and some skills to wash outside because of the painting, and inside sanitize at the same time that is washing, sanitize. Okay, it's a really powerful steam machine, and it does a very good work, a good job. In countries like United States and Canada, they are already using this kind of machines very often. They have this already, some franchisings of this. They are using for cars, for carpets, for houses, for solar panels. Here And in this kind of, for example, in the States, it's perfectly normal. A person that wants to wash his car for every 2 weeks. Here we don't have that mindset, but it's something that we believe that can be changed. Like you go to the hairdresser or you go to the massage or whatever, you always want to have your car washed, but in an eco-friendly way. So, and the steam is a fantastic, very good, gives us a very good opportunity to do this job well and with 95% less water and without chemicals. And so mainly it's this. I would like to show you the video for you to see a bit of how it works. Well, it's fantastic. We are having already some people asking about franchising for this, to develop the idea of the franchising for the whole country, and so it's very interesting. Okay.
Red cards. Time off. Time off.
It's done.
Jean, I've put the link on the chat, and I will share the link to people.
Thank you very much.
I'm going to ask all the speakers to leave your LinkedIn and your contacts on the share, so that way everyone can be sharing their contacts for networking, okay? If someone wants to get in contact, if we have the LinkedIn in your contacts, it's really useful, okay?
Okay.
Okay, thank you very much, Jean. Now, Christina from KRA Renewables. Christina was also a sponsor of the conference. So, Christina.
Thank you, Arnold.
Oh yeah, you're there. Okay.
I'm just going to share my screen.
Sure.
Okay, can you see that?
Yeah, perfect.
Okay, I was interested to hear Pedro's presentation, and we have spoken with Pedro before. There are a lot of synergies and parallels between what Pedro is doing and what we're doing. So I suppose to give you a little bit of background, first of all, we have a project management company called KRA Visionary Project Partners, which has been in operation since the year 2000. And in around 2018, KRA Renewables was set up as a sister company to KRA Visionary. And it came really because the three directors have been interested in sustainability as long as we can remember. And again, I was interested to see Pedro referring to writers in the 90s. I know that certainly I would have bought my first book about sustainable homes in the 80s. So we set up KRA Renewables really to provide services, professional services, advising our clients on all aspects of sustainability, from the installation of renewables to life cycle assessments, to sustainability plans, to biodiversity. And what we've found is that we've had a really excellent response from our client base. So to give you just talk through some of the projects we're currently working on. We are currently working on an island-wide energy transition plan for a small island off the west coast of Ireland. It's an island that has a fairly small population, but they cater to 50,000 tourists a year, and they want to move to net zero position. So we're working with them. We've just started working with them. That'll be a project that we're working on for the rest of this year and delivering the plan at the end of the year. We're also currently acting as project coordinator for a grant scheme that is operated by the Sustainable Energy Authority of Ireland called the Communities Energy Grant. And essentially for that grant, we as project coordinators bring together private businesses, not-for-profits, and residential homeowners to put together a bundle of projects which are put forward for various elements of energy efficiency upgrades. And they range from whole house retrofits to LED lighting upgrades, to the installation of electric vehicle chargers, to the installation of large-scale solar PV, and really everything in between. So our community this year has about 1.5 million of retrofit and renewable energy works in progress. We're also currently working on a government guidance document on the energy efficiency of traditional buildings, or an energy efficiency upgrades of traditional buildings, and we're working on that with a consortium of different entities, including Carrig Conservation, Passivate, and the Irish Green Building Council. We've also found that there's a great interest from our clients in writing sustainability plans for them, and currently we're working with a large business park, business campus in North Dublin. We're working with the large holiday park in County Wicklow and various other clients on that sort of work. We're compiling an energy master plan for a historic military barracks in Ireland's Midlands, which houses 40 community groups. And we're currently designing, tendering, planning and finance and obtaining finance for about $250,000 of rooftop solar PV in central Dublin. So that's just a few of the projects we're currently working on. Who are we? We have a dedicated team of building surveyors, project managers, designers and building fabric specialists. And they work with an energetic team of engineers, which specialize in sustainability and renewable energy. We are leaders in multiple professional bodies, including the Irish Green Building Council and the Society of Chartered Surveyors Ireland. And crucially, as Pedro mentioned for his own company, we act as project managers, bringing together all the essential players to make impactful projects happen. So I'm not going to read through all the different services we offer. I think I've mentioned most of them, but our mission is to increase sustainability in the built environment and in communities whilst educating, adding value, optimizing costs and protecting building fabric. One of the key things to mention is that our focus has increasingly moved to a twin focus, not just on the reduction of carbon, but also on the biodiversity side. So we've just this week actually entered into a strategic agreement with Birdwatch Ireland, whereby they will be helping us to find the right bird boxes, bat boxes and insect hotels for our clients' sites. And we'll then arrange for installation of those to increase biodiversity at existing properties. I suppose the key thing to emphasize is that really our mission is sustainability in its purest sense. And we keep that at the forefront of any project we undertake or instruction we're given. We've signed up last year for the Irish Green Building Council's EPD commitment, which is Environmental Product Declaration commitment, which requires us to make sure that we look for environmental product declarations for anything we specify. We've also signed up to Surveyors Declare. In fact, I was a lead signatory of Surveyors Declare, a climate and biodiversity emergency, and we're currently working strongly on the construction declares in Ireland. So our process is to assess, design, tender, procure, manage, and then monitor, which again, you'll see the similarities with Pedro's operations and what they provide. Okay. So that's it. I think that's everything for now. And I'll stop sharing there.
Really good. Thank you.
Thank you, Krishna. Now it's Pedro Antunes from OVO Solutions. Pedro just joined very recently, probably a few weeks ago, the network. So welcome, Pedro, and really good to have you here today.
Thank you so much. Good afternoon to everyone. Thank you so much for giving me this opportunity to show you what is OVO Solutions and what can OVO Solutions do in Ireland Portugal Business Network. We are a company that designs, fabricates, integrates, and have licensed recycling plants of waste containers and water treatment plants. So we design and fabricate waste containers to provide cities with better solutions for each demography, to have more sustainable solutions to collect with even better quality and the the residues and the waters. We are the leaders in Portugal and Spain in eco-pond solutions, so solutions that can be collected from the community on the streets. We have very cost efficient solutions. That's why we like to showcase our products. We are mainly a company of products, so that's why it was easy to me to showcase, and it is easy to me to showcase after this the products to you, to show what can we do in Ireland, and what can we show that what is the best solutions here in Portugal and what can be done in Ireland. So one of the main concerns that we have here in OVO is circular economy. That's why we are a licensed recycled company. We try to be the most sustainable company, so we can integrate our plastics and our metals in our own products, and that's why we want to go even further after conquering Portugal and Spain. We like to go even further and showcase our products in waste treatment and water treatment to Ireland. That's why I wanted to showcase you OVO. And that's it. I know that Europe is have a big plan prepared for waste collection, and I know that Europe is very concerned on giving us the better solutions for us to give them the better quality in products, so we can all close the cycles of recycling. And we are here to provide solutions so the cities can make even better infrastructure for the citizens to collect and to recycle the waste even better. Thank you so much.
Really good.
So it's short.
That's good. First time.
On time. You get a bonus for that. And Gerard now. Gerard Smith from PAR, passionate about recycling.
Just let me share my screen. Just give me 2 seconds. Right. Now, everybody can see that, Peter?
Not yet.
All right.
Yeah.
All right. Okay.
If you can put it full screen, that will be better. You know. Yeah. Perfect.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. So, all right. All right. My name is Gerard Smith here. Myself and 3 other lads met together 2 years ago, and we created a company called Passionate About Recycling. Since I've joined IPBN, we have made a lot of changes to our organization, and this is how we came up with it. We currently have 3 partners. Well, sorry, 2 partners and 1 coming on stream. So what I will be focusing on will be one of the technology that we sell to on a global scale to companies like recycling companies and stuff like that, where we recycle plastic into biomass fuel or plastic into various different products that we have here. The future of recycling, the technology that we have is not pyrolysis. Pyrolysis is a machine that has not been very successful, but our technology that we have with the partner of ours is the next generation. So what the scientists have done there was to try to maximize everything, such as the emission that comes from the machine. What can we do with the emission? We actually recycle the emission from the machine, so it doesn't go out into the air. We get hydrocarbons. If we do with tires and like that, we get hydrocarbons which we can sell back to the tire company. We could the water that we generate out of it, the various crystals that come out of the machines, we could sell that to another company as well. So the benefits of this technology that we have, we can sell diesel, petrol, and wood to recycle back into the to sell on. So therefore, we don't have to worry about it. This is an example of what we in TCC Energy, one of our partners. And that's the type of machine that we do, like wood, biomass, plastic, organic waste. And when we put that through the machine, you see it comes out with gas, which is LNG, fuel, which is petrol and diesel, combustible items, chemical-based materials, and various carbons. That's one organization that we deal with. The other organization that we do, we assist, these two companies that we assist them to bring the product to the market. The other company that we have is it's a demolition plasterboard. As you are aware that we are not allowed to put the plasterboard into the ground. Pretty much the same what Michael Naino said this morning about jeans. You can't put it in the ground from 2025. But we have a company that recycles plasterboards. So the products out of the plasterboard can be broken all back down again, be sold back to the plasterboard manufacturer, and they would rebuild a new set of plasterboard going forward. So they're the kind of the advantages of it. And the third company that I don't have a slide for at this moment in time is that we are in discussion with is it has a technology that would recycle what you call it, sewage sludge. To stop it from putting into the water, we recycle sewage sludge into fertilizer for farmers to put onto the land and so forth. So they're the three companies that we 2.5 partners. So when I say half a partner, we're in the middle of signing a contract with them. We in partner about recycling, we are sort of people that would create and open doors for other people to create an open opportunity for both the people who develop the technology and the people who would require the technology to advance their businesses. So this is pretty much everything I could think of at the moment. It's a very investable company to invest in, and we have a lot of clients who are very interested in buying the product. So I hope we can do some sort of collaboration. I see a few of us have some common ground with our business anyway, but we talk again soon. Thank you for your time, and we'll see you again.
Thank you, Gerard.
Okay. Yeah.
So that finished the presentation. So I will be sharing all the presentation after the meeting. So now if we can take some questions from everybody, any comments about the presentation we just had, or because I can see many of you were at the conference. If you have anything to say about the conference as well, we are happy. We would very much like to hear from you. And Susan, maybe you.
Yes, I can introduce now. I will want to ask to Pedro, Cristina, Gerard, and Paulo, both Pedros, right? What can IPBN and everyone that is here can help you? What is a great partner for you? Because member meet member is a moment to us to share business, to share opportunities, and what can be a good opportunity for you that we can share?
You're directing that question to me, is it?
Gerard, yes, you can start by you, and then we pass for all the present people. Okay.
Well, I will say, and based on my previous experience, when I joined the IPBN, myself and Arnold had a conversation in relation to what I do, what type of service we provide. And he in turn then introduced me to a guy named with a similar name of my own, who then kind of helped me then in generating businesses with other locations, mainly around Australia. It inadvertently, I thought I was getting people in Portugal, but he didn't know that many people in Portugal at the time, but he introduced me to people in Australia, which also in turn generated a lot of business interest. So mainly by networking online, which is a new thing, hence the reason why I felt it was a great beneficial benefit for being in an organization like this. Now, with your presentation.
We stopped hearing you.
Yeah, we
Christina,
lost.
Christina, can you let us know what you're looking for? What is?
Yeah, I suppose one of the things that we like, our business plan had allowed for 2020 to be the year that we looked at setting up KRA Portugal, and obviously that hasn't happened for obvious reasons, but that is still in the business plan. And I suppose we'd be very interested if there were any projects that we could get involved in Portugal that could be, our involvement was remote at the moment. So for example, one of the things that we specialize in doing is techno-economic analysis for renewable installations. And it may be, and it's something we've already spoken with Pedro about previously, but if somebody wanted to have, what we found initially was that a lot of clients really needed to be shown that there is a valid reason to install renewables on an existing building, and particularly the financial director. And the financial director will be convinced by a full, proper techno-economic analysis that looks at the full life cycle of the installation. It looks at any grant funding that might be available. And instead of just saying, well, the payback period is, it gives a proper discounted payback period that makes sense for the guys with the numbers. So I suppose we'd be interested if there was an opportunity to partner with somebody doing part of something for them that we could do remotely using our skills and abilities, whether it's on the basis of preparing sustainability plans or advising on lead or on the renewables analysis. We'd be very happy and very open to those sort of collaborations.
Okay, that's good. You're taking me to one of the questions I had for you. In the last 5 years, what do you feel about your Irish clients or your clients that you work for? What they think about the sustainability? Something you have to induce on them, or they go after you because they already have that in mind? Because it's something.
A year ago, I would have said it's something we really have to use our best persuasive skills. Now we're finding partly it's because we've now developed a reputation in the market that we can do it and we've delivered, and they can talk to clients who we've worked with and so on. But partly I think it's just that, for instance, any fund that's investing will only invest in properties that either are sustainable or can be made sustainable. So we're currently working with a very large REIT in Ireland on improving the BERs of their various properties by the installation of renewables and fabric upgrades. We're working with a property management company that manages 80 commercial and residential developments around Dublin, and looking at sustainability across those estates and the installation of EV charger infrastructure, which is going to be increasingly important as we move to decarbonise transport. So yeah, more and more there's an interest and an open ear at least. And what we're finding is some clients are only willing to dip in a small toe. So they might say, well, we're not going to go for ISO 14001, which is the environmental management system, but we will pay you a smaller fee to just write us a sustainability policy and a sustainability plan so we can start thinking about it with the stakeholders. And basically what we're saying is, whatever you do, if you make one small step, that's great. We can do other steps once you've taken the first step.
Yes, it's interesting. Pedro Barato, what do you feel about the Portuguese market? Because my thinking is different. I think Ireland is a little bit more mature in sustainability than us. What is your opinion?
Yeah, it's right. It's completely. Well, first of all, what can IPBN do for our green? Of course, we are looking for developers to use our services, and also companies that need to manage their assets and take facility management as a service. But yeah, with regarding to your question, what I feel is that the people in Portugal are becoming more aware of the environment issues and the impact that especially the buildings have on the environment. It's become easier to implement solutions, but it's still a difficult market. The financial, it's always a problem. The first aspect is the financial issue, but the benefits of the environment cost that the buildings are a big part are even getting ahead, and so people are more aware that needs to implement different solutions. We have clients that are completely focused on that, but we also have some clients that are just want to know what is the payback, and so we have to make a balance and try to work our way through that.
Yes, that's what I think. I think Portuguese still see it as a cost. And I think Ireland is already 2 or 3 steps ahead. That people just come after already looking for it, not just for a stamp for sustainability, to be a company with that recognition, but we are still starting in Portugal. So that's why this subject is so interesting for us.
And could I
Yes.
ask the question as to whether LEED accreditation or any other sustainability accreditation has gained any traction in the market, in the property market, in the commercial property market in Portugal? Pedro might be able to...
I can answer to that. For some international trust funds, yes, but for the common developer here in Portugal, or even some international developers, but they are more focused on smaller projects, no. So for logistics, yes, there is a couple of operators that wants this taking care, but and they only assume LEED projects, but that's it. And
Because
more
that's the big change that we've seen 2 years ago when I was talking to clients, even international clients, and saying, look, we should do LEED and WELL for this building, and they were saying, no, doesn't add value, we're not going to do it. Now the agents are telling them, the commercial advisors are saying, your building will be behind the curve if you don't get accreditation. And that's what we've found has been the big push here in changing focus and changing mindsets.
Well, there is also another opportunity. This COVID issue is also another opportunity. We are working with another association of the Portuguese developers, and they put together a certification on COVID buildings, free COVID buildings that implement, it's a little bit like LEED. They assume a certification for the building that is making the building more COVID appropriate, more COVID, I don't know how to explain it, but they put together systems so the COVID won't be a problem inside the building. Taking care of this is a small certification that is done with a local university. So this is for a residential issue, of course, and for business also. So it's becoming this problem, it becomes an opportunity. And in LEED certification, the big problem is the commercial issue, because these developers want to put on the market products as low as they can because of the rents. The rents are very squeezed right now, and so this can be a net value to the project also when they are selling, but it's also a cost. And this balance, it's only now changing for the right side, so we can speak.
Yes, sustainability needs to be seen on the buildings as a less cost or a way to save money on the future. And until there, I think we can use altogether some case studies from other countries, from Ireland and other countries in Portugal, to show to clients how it is. So that's a challenge I'm just leaving to you guys to think about it. So I wanted to make a question to Pedro Antunes. Okay. I was checking your company to see, one question I have is, most of your clients are governments, are particular?
It's depending on the country. For instance, for instance, in Portugal, most of the companies that collect the waste are public, so we are more focused on public clients and government. For instance, in Spain is mixed, have 50 private and 50 public. So what we need, what our goal was with Ireland Portugal Business Network was to find a local partner or partners that can help us showcase the quality of our products in Ireland and show us what the best contacts or in public or in private companies, because I need to understand how the industry works in Ireland, so we can have the better strategy to focus on this market.
I think you're in the right place for people to help you, right?
Yeah.
Another question I have for you about the market in Portugal. You feel that in the last years, the private part is looking more for your work or your services, or it's just something going normally? What are you feeling the market is giving you? What?
For you to have a clear vision, we were a company that had how do I say faturação? How do you say faturação?
Income.
Income of about 30% of our income. Our income now is 3 times the income that we did in 2017, 2018. So we had a big boom of services because more and more concern in waste collection and more concern we see here in Portugal, not even in Portugal, but all around Europe, because of the strategies and the laws that they have to be applied. So they, for now, for instance, they are obliged to collect organic waste, and we see here in Portugal more and more projects on organic collection, and it's going to be mandatory till 2023. So I see that this industry is scaling up. So even in Portugal is scaling up, but we see that all over Europe is going up the industry. That's why we wanted to expand the quality of our products to other countries. And when Arnold showed us this opportunity with Mario, we tell them it is a good country to showcase what we do.
Okay, that's good. Questions, curiosities from the audience?
I have a question, actually. Can I ask the question?
Yes, please.
Okay. I just want to say the conference has been absolutely fantastic, first of all. But one of the things that struck me, I'm not in your business, but it's clear that there is a huge commitment from government. Investors recognize that sustainability is the future. And then you have all of these amazing companies coming up with very innovative products that are going to make our world better. But there is one piece of the puzzle that's missing, and that's people like me. It's private industry and individuals. As a sector, do you feel that it would benefit you to have somebody who's lobbying or creating positive awareness in our respective countries around the fact that this is happening? Our governments have committed to it. We have these organizations who are able to roll out sustainability in our homes, in our offices, but there's a gap there in educating the public. And how can that happen in the respective countries? How would you like to, what support would you like to see in place to raise that awareness so you don't have this resistance? And you mentioned it, Katja, that where you have to really sell hard in order to convert and get people to buy into your products and services.
The question is for me, or
I think if whoever wants to answer it.
Yes.
Christina here, I might start by saying that for me, it's an existential problem. This is not just about growing a business. This is about the fact that as a planet, we have these twin crises, the climate and the biodiversity crisis. And from the moment, I suppose, that I really realized just how serious it is, I have used every resource I can in every sphere of influence that I can, from the personal to the professional, to try to change hearts and minds. And it can be challenging to do that, but often just engaging with people and talking with passion about it is the way that we've brought clients with us on the journey. Now, what I would suggest is that there are networks like the Irish Green Building Council and, other networks for businesses and so on, that where you can share views and gain support around what you're trying to do. And that what I'd encourage anybody who's not involved in in either the built environment or sustainability is just to look at their own operations and see where they can get supports for being more sustainable in what they're doing, whether it be around the offices they occupy or whether it be about the recycling bins in the canteen. I'd suggest start small and just work outwards in your sphere of influence.
Just a small answer. Sharon, I think everybody should demand that our products, no matter what products, are sustainable. And when we are buying a bottle of water, we need to why you buy it to plastic? Why don't you use a different container? When we are using a building, we should demand that that building is sustainable. When you are buying a car, you should demand that our car is sustainable, whatever product it means. So it's not a question of awareness. I think everybody is aware of the problem. It's a question of demanding. And it's also a question of that product should be on the market and should be at the same cost as the others. This means that we can reduce the price. No, probably we need to increase the price of the other products. And it's also a financial problem, of course. But it's not a question of awareness. It's a question of we need to demand. We as people need to demand.
And what's interesting there, Pedro, is that a lot of employers are now realizing that they won't get employees unless they have premises that are sustainable, policies that are sustainable. Don't invest in, slave labor and so on. It's there is a huge groundswell from the younger generation that is pushing employers, certainly, and that will push the built environment as well.
Yeah. Yes, I think so. This type of work need to make a day by day, not only when we have big projects, but only with small things on a day by day basis to improve everything it's possible. And in the matter of the diverse installation, for instance, we can do little things, but in the end of the year, you can save something with little improvements. And this is a point that sometimes the people don't know.
Okay, I think Christina did a fact of important thing that people will start hiring people because they are sustainable. They have to use on their brand the sustainability. Of course, I hope it's for a good reason, not just for the stamp or for the recognition, but the future, I think, is here. So I don't know if there are more any question. We can share some more thinking.
Hi, Susan. Can I still ask a question?
Last question, yes, Mari.
It's more related to a project I'm working on, but I think you can help me on this. So basically nowadays, for you to get air quality metrics on a neighborhood resolution, such as seasonal or yearly air quality and pollution analytics, you have to use sensors, which can get quite expensive and quite difficult to manage operationally. So we are working with the European Space Agency to develop a data transformation algorithm that allows you to gain spatial resolution by using machine learning algorithms to achieve neighborhood level metrics based on downscaling techniques. For that, we use atmospheric monitoring services, data from the Sentinel-5 satellites, and other sources of data. Our job is just to develop these algorithms, not to necessarily to apply them in the real world products. However, we have a partner from the real estate sector that is trying to use these metrics to give information about air quality to their customers. So my question to you is, do you think the end users and the end customers care about this? In other words, do people buy or build a house considering the air quality of the surrounding area?
Who wants to answer? I think with COVID, that's really an impact. Everyone was asking about that.
I can give my opinion. Yeah, the COVID is the first thing. People are becoming more awareness. This is one of the reasons that the association that I talk about create that certification, and people are demanding a little bit more, but it's still not enough from my point of view. Nevertheless, the product, when put on the market, we can add some value to the product. How much value can we add? It's not probably right, but we can add some value. But as I was saying before, people need to demand more so that this issue can really make a difference. But it's starting, and COVID, it's really making a boost of it.
Christina here. What I would say that we've seen in Ireland is a real impact on the property market, on the residential property market from COVID, whereby we have a very Dublin-centric property market. I'm sure it's similar for yourselves in Portugal, where it's Lisbon and the Algarve, and then the rest of the country is pretty well neglected. For us, it's Dublin and Cork, and then the rest of the country is pretty much neglected. However, there's been a big boost in rural property sales, and particularly the sort of properties that people weren't interested in before. And whilst there aren't any metrics around why they're choosing those, it's partly because they're seeing that it's possible to hold down a job and not be in an office in Dublin or in Cork. And secondly, because of the lifestyle factors of, you know, clean air, better environment, and so on. There's a separate strand which isn't really for this conference, but we have a big problem with town centres. All our sort of smaller town centres are dying on their feet. I don't know if that's the same in Portugal. We're hoping that perhaps this boost may lead to a regeneration of local and smaller towns, and to more of, again, coming back to sustainability, the idea of the 10-minute town where you can walk from your home to work, to the shops, to the library, to the swimming pool, to a tennis court, rather than everything being based on having to commute to wherever you're going in larger cities. So that would be my view on it.
Okay, we have to end on time, right? We had a little bit more time for the presentations. I want to be really grateful for everyone, for the speakers, for this moment, for IPBN, what is doing in our lives. And I hope this is the first of a lot of other talks about sustainability. And next year we can compare this conversation and see that something was done for the environment and for everyone. Thank you very much for everyone.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you, Susan.
Thank you very much
to everyone.
Thank you all.
Thank you.
Bye.
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 Thank you all.